Hi guys, it's Kat, and today we are going to talk about OSFED. OSFED is known as otherwise specified feeding or eating disorder. It's also commonly known as EDNOS, which stands for eating disorder not otherwise specified. The name changed for the Diagnostics Manual 5, I think. But basically, you are diagnosed with OSFED if you don't fit into the categories to have anorexia, bulimia, or a binge eating disorder. This being said, OSFED isn't technically an eating disorder, it is a collection of eating disorders. As some examples are atypical anorexia, where you have all the symptoms of anorexia but you are not underweight. Bulimia of low frequency, binge eating of low frequency, a purging disorder, which is different to bulimia, because with bulimia you have to binge and purge. With purging disorder, you just purge. There is orthorexia, which is an obsession with clean eating, and diabulimia, which is something specific to diabetics where they misuse their insulin to lose weight. Personally, I deal with a purging disorder and I guess atypical anorexia. I do restrict quite a lot, and even though it's been 6 weeks to the day since I last purged, go me. I still consider myself to have a purging disorder because the urge is still there. It's still something that I struggle with, even if I'm not actively doing it. It's still something that I have to deal with. It's the same way alcoholics still consider themselves alcoholics even if they're sober. The symptoms of OSFED are pretty much similar to any other eating disorder, although it might take longer for the weight loss to show, which is why typically it's not seen as dangerous as other eating disorders. It takes a while for the physical symptoms to appear, but the same physical symptoms, the extreme weight loss, the tiredness, the deficiencies, the vitamin deficiencies, folic acid deficiencies, and like anemia, they all still happen with OSFED. There is big behavioural changes, as with any other eating disorder. Like the signs that someone has OSFED, typically if they get uncomfortable around food, or just meal times, there's anxiety around meal times in general, if they disappear to the bathroom after they eat. It doesn't have to be specific to if they've eaten a lot, it might just be they're purging after every meal, or any sort of rapid unnatural weight loss. The average person loses about £1 a week in normal weight loss. 2 pounds a week is considered like a lot, fast weight loss. But when my eating disorder was at its worst, I was losing £1 a day. So that is typically considered rapid weight loss. OSFED makes up around 32 to 52% of all eating disorders, which is a large amount. And obviously this is because it encompasses lots of smaller eating disorders, but it is more frequent than anorexia and bulimia and binge eating. But OSFED has as high of a mortality rate as anorexia, which means you are as likely to die from OSFED as you are to die from anorexia, which is seen as the most deadly eating disorder. The thing with OSFED is that it is really dangerous. And I'm not just saying that because it's an eating disorder. All eating disorders are dangerous. But OSFED typically goes undiagnosed for a long amount of time because the physical symptoms aren't as apparent. Doctors tend to pick up on it less. It's tend to not be taken seriously as an eating disorder. There are a lot of requirements you have to go through to be treated for an eating disorder. And those requirements are specific to anorexia nervosa, bulimia nervosa, and binge eating disorder. So, say if you don't meet the rate requirements for anorexia, you won't be treated. Or if you don't binge and purge a certain amount of times during a week, you won't be treated. Because of this is what makes OSFED so deadly. Is that it goes undiagnosed, and if it is diagnosed, it goes untreated for so long, because it's not seen as bad. There's doctors you can speak to about it. Even if you do have OSFED, it is still worth talking to your doctors about it and telling them what's going on, telling them your exact symptoms and everything that you do because of your eating disorder. It's important to remember that all eating disorders, they are not weight disorders, they are mental illnesses, and they need to be treated as such. So if you can't speak to a doctor about it, try and find a counsellor. I know most schools, colleges, universities will have guidance counsellors that you can talk to, and they might not be experts in eating disorders, but it's good to talk to them. There are self-help guides online, which honestly not a lot of them are catered to OSFED. They're all specifically, do this to put on more weight, or do this to stop binging, and I'm just like, but there are self-help guides out there. If you look on the NHS website, there is things you can find to help with OSFED. It is a serious problem. Don't let it fester. Anyway, I hope that has helped clear some things up, or at least made someone feel like they are not alone in this. You are loved and you are worthy of getting help, and there is help out there if you need it. If you don't want to talk to a counsellor, or there's no one in your life that you trust talking to about this, then talk to me, put a comment down below, or message me, or whatever. But there are people who care, and there are people who are willing to listen, and you deserve to have that in your life. I will see you guys soon.